Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and I think there are bats in here. Yes. Oh my. I have learned nothing from how to deal with keys, apparently. So, jumping straight into the fray, apparently, this is Master Quest. Possibly the finale thereof. Now, I should have learned by now that the attack that I want to do to get these keys is just press the B button once. Don't hold a direction, because otherwise Link will do a slash that won't hit the fuckers. I don't even need to attack them, I don't think. They're just in the way, and I'm just in a slightly fighty mood, because I think we'll be doing the final boss in this episode. Yeah. If you can hear my controller clicking, then do pardon me, that's just how that shit go. Anyway, I suppose I shouldn't waste any time, because, yeah, we're sort of heading up this inner sanctum, and the final boss will be waiting for us at the top. That shouldn't come as any surprise, it's fairly obvious where this is going, I would have thought. And like I said, killing the keys, really not mandatory. I just have a bit of a grudge against them at this point, and also there's an outside chance they might drop hearts. Not that it matters, because we have double dong defense, and since this is actual Master Quest and not 3D Master Quest, not implying that the 3D version is any less legitimate, of course, but just because it's not 3D Master Quest, first of all, everything's not backwards like left to right flippity-dude, but also, enemies don't do double damage in this version, because in original Master Quest, enemies do the same amount of damage as they do in Vanilla Ocarina of Time, but in 3D Master Quest, enemies do double damage. But we don't have to worry about that, and even if we did, well, we have... Right. In 3D Master Quest, when you get the double defense, congratulations, you have about as much defense, in fact, you have exactly as much defense. Oh, good, Stalfos, it's been too long! As Link at the very start of Vanilla Ocarina of Time. But in this version, we have double that, because they didn't think to add the backwards high roll or the double damage nonsense until the 3D remake, or I would say the 3D make, but that implies that it's a demake, and it's not. It's definitely a remake, because the graphics are much snootsier than this. Snootsier. You know what I mean. Don't forget this chest, by the way, because, you know that Prima strategy guide that I was shitting all over, at least in the Water Temple, if not elsewhere in this project as well? Project, if I can enunciate. It makes special mention of this chest. It says, now make sure you don't overlook this chest, because I know you've just fought some enemies, but don't forget to get that chest, because it's the boss key. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why this dungeon feels it necessary to have a boss key, because the boss door is, like, not this one, but not far off. And oh look, some iron knuckleses, and are there any stealth bosses in here as well, just to add some flavour to this fight? I don't mind the salt and pepper twins here. That thought just came to me now, because there's a black one, there's a white one. And so, you might think, oh, you know, dark and light, or social commentary. No, I'm just looking at them thinking salt and pepper, and then my childhood is screaming, but where's paprika? Yeah, Blue's Clues was kind of my shit, although, admittedly, I don't remember that much about it, because it was a long time ago in my childhood. And I remember bits and pieces. I remember Blue, I remember Magenta, I think her name was, and Salt, and Pepper, and Paprika, and The Contraption, which was all of one episode, I think. And there was that bastard green dog, whose name I don't remember. If anyone remembers the name of that bastard green dog, Austin, I'm looking at you. Would someone mind reminding me? Finding me. Anyway, boss door, and empty boss room. Oh well, moving swiftly on. I mean, how shit would that be? Just go into the boss room, no cutscene, just whoopsie, we're fighting Ganon now. And part of me's thinking I should maybe switch... Right, I want to switch up my items while I'm here, because... Well, we're going to need the light arrows, because it's Ganon. And I feel like using the Master Sword is probably better for what we're about to come up against, and also more fitting, because, I mean... It's Ganondorf. We've got the Blade of Evil's Bane. It's all well and good smiting him with this almighty Goron longsword, but... Or broadsword? Swordy sword. But we need the Master Sword for this shit. I don't know if it's ever outright required at some point in the battle, but it's good to hold on to. And I would continue the Blue's Clues round, but I believe we've got a cutscene and a disappearing organ. Watch out for that. Wha! The surprise. You could play noughts and crosses on that ceiling. O.L. King. But yeah, where does this podium and that organ go to in a minute? And, oh no, dun dun dun, it's Zelda. I never would have guessed. Oh no, the Triforce. I never would have guessed. Goddamn ancient magic, you're blowing my cover in front of... Okay, I am slightly killing the mood here, I recognise, but... I mean... Most people have seen this cutscene 1,000 times, so... Oh yeah, this cutscene heals you up automatically. because apparently the Triforce of Courage is also the Triforce of Healing. And
the Triforce parts are resonating. They're combining into one again.
Apparently the Triforce of Power is also the Triforce of Dickery.
The two Triforce parts that I could not capture on that day 7 years ago. I didn't expect they would be hidden within you two.
Dick?
And now, finally, all the Triforce parts have gathered here. Hello from the other side. It's me. These toys are too much for you. I command you to return them to me. And maybe I will share with you my latest hit single. It's dope as fuck.
Damn it, Navi, and also damn it, planes, because, yeah, we've got planes going overhead over the house at the moment, because where's his organ go? It just sort of fades away. Can't see Ganondorf's organ. Now, yeah, get to the edge of this room, because it's this sort of thing. Yeah, we can't L-target him, because he is dicks. Yeah, we have, planes going overhead, because, yeah, it's tennis time, and I'm not good at tennis. Yeah, we've got planes going overhead because of the air show coming up at the moment. It's once every 2 years where I live, and it's kind of a nuisance because the planes have to rehearse and shit. Remember this? This is what Phantom Ganon was preparing us for in, back in, the Forest Temple days, and this is kind of why I recommended getting a green potion as well as... well, that's not good. I recommended getting a green potion as well as a blue potion, because there might come a point in this fight where you need to regain magic, but not health. Because, I mean, we've got double defense, we've got 20 hearts. And what's he doing? Oh, he's just destroying some of the land, as one does. Come on, sir, fight me. It would be easier if I could L-target you, but it's whatever. Now, I find it easier to press nothing but the B button when you're slicing his magic back at him, because if you press forwards, then Link does a vertical slice instead of a horizontal one, and it's kind of... yeah. As you saw earlier in this very fight, Link, will you face the enemy when I'm trying to fight them, please? I had this problem with Twin Rover as well. Twin, oh yeah. But yeah. Link does fucky sword moves depending on... I pressed 2-0 there, I'll own up to that. Fucky sword moves depending on which direction you're pointing with the D-pad, or... not the D-pad, the control stick. There is no D-pad in this game. Okay, now that... the game's acting like I pressed it too late, but no, I pressed that perfectly on time. I'm right on time. Right in time for you, like you're a nuke or some shit. And that's a nuke the artist, not the, nuclear weapon. Or the Steven nuke, which is coming up soon, Steven Universe. All the remaining parts of Series 3, back to back. Every weeknight for like 4 weeks. And okay. Link, I'm putting the blame on you for that. When I pressed the button in time, you just swung slowly and planes! Well, that's okay. If I could be quiet whilst the planes go overhead, and that means I have an excuse to go concentration mode. Yay! And can we focus on the enemy here, please? See, this is a final boss that I've never been willing to do. Like, when I played Master Quest the original time, and also originally when I first played Ocarina of Time as well, I got to the final boss. Like, I opened the boss door in Ganon's Tower, and got up to this room, but never actually came into this room, because I just didn't want to fight the final boss, and my biggest qualm with that was, oh, well, I can't L-target him. So, Link, I told you to fire a second light arrow, why did you wait so fucking long to do that, you literal dipshit? But, yeah, that actually demonstrates exactly why I was so hesitant about taking on this boss. Not because I feared it might be hard, but because I was worried about having to shoot an arrow without L-targeting by myself without L-targeting. That was my only excuse. And... clearly, that it's just demonstrated that was a perfectly valid qualm to have. But if you say qualm too much, it stops sounding like a word, and so you end up with qualms. You know? Ever been there? Ever been to Qualmtopia? I think it's just outside of Porn in Uzbekistan. Deary me. Right, can we not miss this time? Thank you. I feel like it would make more sense to use Big Orange Sword to do more damage here, but I don't know if Big Orange Sword can actually damage him, because, you know, Master Sword, Blade of Evil's Bane. Because I'm pronouncing things incorrectly, apparently. Now, do that other attack, and also look how tattered his cape is getting. That's how you know we're doing damage. But come on, you have another attack that's so much easier to counter, and you're not doing it. Ganon, play nice. All I wanted was a good old-fashioned game of tennis. I think Wimbledon's going on at the moment as well, actually. Link, again, I'm mashing the button telling you to shoot an arrow and you're not. But come on. There's another attack that he has apart from this one, where he sends a load of little balls at you at once instead of this one big one, and all you have to do is spin attack that, and he can't deflect that if you counter it, so it immediately counts as a successful tennis volley. And I'd rather do that than all this stressful tennis nonsense. Because this keeps happening with the stuff. Now Link, hit him please, thank you. Could sort of tell it was going to hit. But, come on, you're nearly dead. Why can't you just show me the money? Show me that one attack you've not done yet. And I was so afraid that I'd land on a platform that didn't exist there. You know how he's taking out bits of floor. Come on! Do that other attack, you poob. You live on the planet Bumstickle, and your middle name is Terrethy. Like, Terrence and Dorothy combined into one. Adele Terrethy Ganondorf. That is your full name. I hope you're proud of it, because I'm not. I don't know, actually it's not that bad of a name. How many hits can you take, sir? Your cape! How is your cape still intact? And your cake, for that matter. Ganondorf cake. Well, I shouldn't talk about cake too loudly, because then my parents might think, oh yes, that's what we should get Tess for his birthday cake this year. Because last year's birthday cake surprised me so much, because it was like a good old-fashioned sort of lemon cake. Wow, that went through his cape. That was pathetic. It was sort of a traditional lemon cake, but then my parents had got my channel logo printed on the cake, and I was so flattered because I genuinely wasn't expecting it. And there was... I still... like, because the icing hadn't printed properly, they had to just stick a paper cutout of my logo on top of the cake because there was something wrong with their icing printing machine. So I still have that bit of paper with my logo on it, and it will always remind me of my 19th birthday. Okay. Are you dead yet, sir? Because I feel like if I do a jump attack, yes, it'll do double damage. There we go. It'll do double damage, but I could completely miss. And this is going well timing-wise.
The great evil King Ganondorf, beaten by this kid? Ha! Tess.
Well, this seems like a slight overreaction to being killed. Then again, maybe not. Also, what are those windows even made of? Well, never mind. I'm surprised at how efficient I'm getting through this episode, by the way. I thought this would be like, you know, like a 45-minute part, but, I mean, we've killed Ganondorf, so what is there left to do? Deary me, indeed. Perhaps it was just me over-preparing by getting those fairies and the potions, because clearly I've not needed them, and everything's gone perfectly fine up until now. We've beaten the final boss, and that's Master Quest, and it's really not that difficult. I suppose it makes sense that the 3DS remake would have double damage.
Ganondorf, pitiful man. Without a strong, righteous mind, he could not control the power of the gods, and... Ah!
Well, again, bit of an overreaction to dying.
Tess, listen to me. This tower will collapse soon. With his last breath, Ganondorf is trying to crush us in the ruins of the tower. We need to hurry and escape. Please, follow me.
Right, because you know your way around this tower so much better than I do. Wow, frame drops? I have never had frame drops in this game before. Now, don't get too far ahead of Zelda, don't get too far behind, and don't get hit because she will stop and gasp. And yes, we are against the clock here. But yeah, as I was saying, it sort of makes more sense for Master Quest to take double damage, because otherwise it's just a load of remixed dungeons and a couple of moved Skulltulas, and that's it. That's the only difference between, open the door with your skinny-ass arms. I can't rip that off. That's definitely Nintendo Capri-Sun's thing. I took damage in the cutscene, but it didn't count as damage, so no complaints from me. So, mind the falling balls of fiery poops, and open another door with those skinny-ass arms. Okay, I'll stop. I don't want to become a shameless rip-off of Nintendo Capri-Sun, because I have so much respect for him, and I wouldn't want to completely rip him off. And, oh, over here. Shame, I'd like to explore this balcony a little bit, but there's probably nothing to it. Parkour with the princess! Princess parkour. Prince Core. Tal and M. Pakora. Chicken Korma. I'm rambling. It's what I do. And oh look, there's a room full of fiery death meatballs. And all is well with the world. I have to admit, this is a rather well put together, I don't want to say set piece, because I say that word far too much, but that is what this is. A rather entertaining and well put together sort of final sequence. It reuses the tower, and I keep taking damage in cutscenes and it doesn't count because it's in a cutscene. Clever game devs. And oh, isn't this that room where... Yeah. I mean, the chest is gone, but the Ring of Fire is still there. At least I think there was a Ring of Fire around it. And oh look, a Stalfos! The Master Quest ending sequence wouldn't be complete without one. And hey, why stop at one? Why not have two? Oh, you finally did me a single heart of damage. Oh, you're so tough and Master Questery. And of course we can't go out of the tower the normal way, because that would quite conveniently be blocked off, but the skinny-ass arms doors are perfectly accessible, just conveniently.
Thank you, Tess. No, let's hurry. Pardon my voice crack there, and have some hearts. We're not a force chip or anything at all, you know. No. Wah!
Is my Zelda voice too derpy? Because it doesn't sound right if I just talk normally and then pitch it up. I'm gonna have to talk, like, almost caricaturally daintily, and then maybe pitch it up as well. We'll see what I do in post. Now, is this the fuck door? Because there is a door... Well, it leads onto a passage that's very fuck. And okay, no, it's this next one that's coming up now. So, as my shitty Prima strategy guide warned me, the corridor that this door leads to, just be prepared for things, because, well, you'll see. And oh, we get to go down another staircase that we didn't even know existed. No, it's this door. It's the corridor beyond this door that... Why can't we use the ocarina, by the way? Oh yeah, because then we'll be able to use a warp song and escape the sequence mid-sequence. Okay. But yes, this passage here, it may not be easy to notice, but look, there's a redead right fucking there. And I completely missed it. And I missed it again. And again. And I'm frozen in midair because logic. Can you just... This makes no sense. I've shot you like 3 times with an arrow that's supposed to insta-kill you. Can you please stop dry-humping me? Now is neither the time nor the place. I was so prepared, and I was somehow unprepared as a consequence. Well, anyway, that's the last room of the outer sanctum, and so now we are free of Ganon's castle. Look, there's the light at the end of the arse tunnel, and I do mean arse tunnel, because look at these shitty button nugget rocks falling from the sky, and with a good 3/4 of a minute to spare, we're so good at life. And all in time to wrap up the episode in a timely manner. Oh, how convenient. Now, remember when I said before about Ganon's papercraft castle? Don't remember those coloured lines being there before. But yeah, so there are these random explosions, it's leaking air for some reason, that bit falls over sideways, and then... The castle... I mean, yes, the castle collapses, you can see that happening now, but the way it collapses, I can't even. First of all, I can't take the explosion noises seriously, because that's the noise that a crate makes when you roll into it. But look, instead of just collapsing, it kind of melts. And it just looks like a papercraft thing that you're just, like, squishing from above. So, yeah. I've never been a huge fan of this destruction thing. Well, that's not true. I like it because it's really satisfying to watch, because I just like the idea of this pop-up castle that's just being squashed down into this flat pancake disc. But it's so unrealistic. Then again, it's a fantasy game. It's supposed to be unrealistic, you myopic manatee! Oh, epic rap battles of history, that's a thing. Well, that's a hot mess.
It's over. It's finally over.
Yeah, that's what she said. But yeah, shall we go home, Zeldykins? Oh, shut the fuck up, Navi. It doesn't matter. Was I supposed to care? Because despite the fact that you've been with me for the entire game, I felt very little connection to your character. I feel like I'm supposed to care and I don't. Well...
What is that sound? Mario!
Sorry, wrong princess. Well, we could just go home, but we still can't use the ocarina, we can't warp away, so might as well investigate the rubble. Oh no, a wall of fire! It's like we're not done or something. And I've not been playing the fool this entire time.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet, to go over everything. They say the time's supposed to heal you, but they don't talk much healing, bitch!
Well, Jesus Christ. Also, that hurt my throat quite a bit. Oh, there goes the Master Sword. Yeah. So for this battle, we can't use a sword. Well, we can use a sword, we just can't use the Master Sword. Navi, shut the fuck up. So, the final battle against Ganondorf. Yeah, I'm not letting that one go, by the way. So, just want to take a step back here, and, well, since we can't use the Master Sword, let's just use the other sword that we've got. Oftentimes, they'll recommend that you use the Megaton Hammer here, but why when you've got the Big Orange Sword, which does multiple damage? Like, double damage or something? And, oh yeah, that's one thing that I'm kind of... It's not easy to see, but it's a thing that I'm doing. You can roll underneath his legs, or just generally walk underneath his legs for that matter. So, or you can sort of walk around him as well, so yeah. Ganon's final form, very satisfying for a final boss, 'cause it's everything you'd come to expect. It's this distorted monster. Obvious weak point, kind of challenging, but not that hard, like, not as strategy heavy as Ganondorf, as Ganondorf the boss. This is Ganon, that was Ganondorf. So, final Ganon. Kind of easy, but satisfying, because it's not as strategy heavy, it's not as fussy as far as hits go. You're not having to be all fancy with your C button aiming, it's just find the weak point, attack the weak point for massive damage, that's all there is to it. And of course, we can't truly kill him because we're using the not Master Sword, but hey, I like how this battle was literally just Ganon's crotch cam the game. I'm sorry, I was just trying to be good.
Tess, the Master Sword is here! Hurry up! I mean, I know you saw where it landed, but still, come and get it, because for fuck's sake, you've got a boss to fight.
Yeah, well, I got the Master Sword, so now what?
Use the Master Sword! Destroy Ganon with the sacred sword! Sword, 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 sword!
Die. Yeah, so I think at this point in the battle, we do have to use the Master Sword now. So it's the same as before, just we do less damage per hit, and I feel like at some point we might have to use light arrows again on that ball on his... Well, it's not really a ball, that glowy part of his tail. Not today, sir. I will just roll through your legs and slice you repeatedly. This is like all my first dates. Just roll through their legs, slice their backside. Plenty of sword, action, question mark. This was a strange train of thought. I'm just taking all of the hits like a champion because I still have all my recovery items because I was overprepared as fuck, but that's just child me being really good at worrying. I'm sure there are other strategies to this final boss, but since I don't do it that much, so I'm just doing what comes naturally. And apparently rolling through legs and taking hits. Yeah, just taking it to the face repeatedly whilst trying to roll through his legs is a strategy I employ on a regular basis. It's funny in a tragic sort of way. Planes! It's funny in a tragic sort of way. Ganon, like this form of Ganon, as opposed to Ganondorf, it's actually kind of cute. Fight me. Well, I'm fighting him at the moment, so I'm sort of otherwise engaged, but generally speaking, Monster Ganon is actually kind of cute. Shame we have to kill him. Look at that snoot! Don't want to boop it personally, but oh, look, Zelda's doing is useful. She's being Class Olsen, she's a useful shop.
I'm using my power to hold the evil king! You use your sword and deliver the final blow! To his face! Yeah! Oh, God, Tess, yes! Oh!
Okay, I'm not sure what's creeping me out more here, the glowy sword, the giant beast in front of me, or Zelda making weird orgasm noises completely unbidden. Now, take it to the face! So that happened. Death is happening. Or so I would hope.
6 sages, now!
Ancient creators of Hyrule. Now, open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm. Curse you, Zelda! is broken, that is when I will exterminate your descendants and release my 12th studio album. Hello from the other side! As long as the Triforce of Power is in my hand.
Well, damn. Once again, huge overreaction to being defeated. But then again, I wouldn't know, I've never been. I've never been to defeat. Denise, maybe, but not defeat. Shall I stop being dumb? Because this is kind of a serious scene. And also, my god, my throat from that voice.
Thank you, Tess. Thanks to you, Ganondorf has been sealed inside the evil realm. Thus, peace will once again reign in this world. For a time. I mean, what kind of franchise would this be without sequels? All the tragedy that has befallen Hyrule was my doing. I was so young, I could not comprehend the consequences of trying to control the sacred realm. I dragged you into it too. Now it is time for me to make up for my mistakes. You must lay the Master Sword to rest and close the door of time.
Which, I mean, it would help if you just closed the door of time when you went in the first time.
However, by doing this, the road between times will be closed and you'll create a split timeline, and then the franchise will become kind of weird with its timelines. That is a canonical thing, unfortunately. Tess, give the ocarina to me. As a sage, I can return you to your original time with it.
Well, I mean, I could return me to my original time with it as well. That's kind of the whole gimmick with Majora's Mask, but I mean, one thing at a time. Oh dear. You barely have a nose in this picture.
When peace returns to Hyrule, it will be time for us to say goodbye. Now, go home, Tess. Regain your lost time. Home, where you're supposed to be. The way you were supposed to be. Because currently you're like an 11-year-old in an 18-year-old's body, and that's kind of creepy. It's like jailbait or something. Thank you, Tess. Goodbye.
And so, just like that, not only have we saved Hyrule, we've also created a three-way split timeline, where Link goes back to the past and prevents Ganondorf from rising in the first place, he goes back to the past and dies, and doesn't go back to the past at all, and this future prevails. Anyway, this has been Master Quest. Holy shit, it took me half a year! Wow. Well, I'm not bitter, it's been immensely fun. And yes, it's a game that I've had some hang-ups about doing a Let's Play of, because Ocarina of Time is hugely overplayed as it is, and, you know, Master Quest not quite as much, still fairly overplayed, but nowhere near as much, that was my get-out clause there. And there were bits of this game that I didn't want to do, stuff like getting all the heart pieces, the Big Poe side quest, the Gold Skull Chulas, and most of all the Gerudo Fortress, but it turned out being just fine. And yeah, this ends up being a 100% playthrough as intended, apart from like the little grottos and inconsequential stuff that the game doesn't track. So I'm not going to go around Hyrule opening every single grotto, getting all the rupees. There won't be any bonus episodes apart from the next one, which will be a bloopers reel from all this time spent with my sages, because I made sure to keep all of those recordings, because bloopers, who doesn't love them? I suppose that means I should segue into my special thanks. So, obviously, I want to thank my 5.5 sages as well as myself, so thanks to Jen for being my Forest Sage, and Super Alex 641 for being my the voice of my Forest Sage when it came to the voice acting. Thanks to Simon from Higher Plane Games for being my Fire Sage. Thank you to Austin on Sugar for being my Water Sage. Thank you, of course, to Joth for being my Shadow Sage. And the inestimable Europescal08 for my honorary internet sister for being my Spirit Sage. And one last unexpected bout of thanks as well. I don't know if he's going to watch this video, but I would like to extend special thanks to my father, because when I was younger, I've mentioned before the time that I spent playing this game as a child. In my younger days, this was one of the games that he would play alongside me. I mentioned earlier in this project, for example, the whole, well, how do we, what do we do with these dirt patches? Maybe we dig them up using the sword. That was from playing alongside him. and he helped me with some of the trickier parts of the game, and it was something of a bonding experience, and so in that regard, I have some very special memories with this game. There are a couple of others as well, the classic Sonic trilogy, for instance, but this game, it tells a story of coming of age for the protagonist, but in a sense it represents coming of age for me as well, because when I first started playing it all that time ago, it was with my father, when I was first getting into video games. It wasn't the first game I ever played by any means, but it was one of the first, and he was there, he helped me through the difficult parts, he helped me get to grips with how to play a game. And even when the time came where there were bits of the game that I didn't want to do, stuff like Jabba Jabba's Belly, where I noped out because it was aesthetically too disgusting. It was at that point that he sort of took the tough love stance kind of, okay, well, I've helped you through thus far, but you're going to need to learn to deal with it by yourself, and it took a couple of years, but I did. And so I sort of grew into my own as a player of games by way of this game. I don't mean to get all sentimental, but I do really appreciate it. In a sense, he was my own, he was the original sage of this game, even though even back then I was better versed in it than he was, I think. To him it was just a game, to me it was a Zelda game, and I knew the bits and pieces and stuff within, and him not so much? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but nevertheless, he was still... I appreciate it, is what I'm saying. Also, slight paradox in that we had the past carpenters and the present carpenters all in a row there. Kind of killing the mood a little bit, but still. And look, Anju got over her chicken allergy. Well, someone on TV Trope suggested that it's not even an allergy. No, it's not just an allergy, because all she says is that she gets goosebumps. She doesn't specify, oh no, I die. I don't know, maybe she's just really thrilled to be handling chickens, and, sadness because Mido Mido and King both lost someone special in this playthrough because they became sages. And so, once again, alongside my father, special thanks to Janitera, SuperAlex641, Higher Plane Games, Sitoriman, Simon, whatever wants me to call him, Austin on Sugar, Joth Ending, and Europe Scalo 8 for joining me on this journey, and of course, all of you, you lovely people, you people who watched me play through this game for the entire first half of 2016. It's been fun. I'm glad that I was able to relive this game in such a format that didn't make it too repetitive, because Master Quest as opposed to the original. So, yeah. I'm really happy that I played this game in the end. I'm glad that I chose to play it. And now it just has all the more reason to hold a special place in my heart, so... Once again, thanks to my sages, thanks to my father, and thanks of course to my lovely, lovely audience. You've been wonderful people. And... yeah, I don't have anything else to say as far as closing thoughts goes, so let's just... final cutscene kind of time. I don't mean to be too cynical when it comes to acting out these cutscenes or whatever, because I do somewhat regret not giving the story more credence in this playthrough, because I got the impression that, well, as a game, it's like the story isn't the main focus, it's just your motivation. And most people are familiar with the story of the game anyway. And so for people who aren't familiar, this isn't the best inroad into the game, but then again, neither is Master Quest as an entity. So I do kind of regret that, because I do still take the story seriously, it still means a lot to me. But even with that, I never felt that much of a connection to Navi. Yes, she's this invaluable partner who's been helpful throughout the journey, but for the entire journey, she's more an item and a nuisance than she is a friend, and so this ending's supposed to be all emotive, like, oh no, we should feel really upset that, oh no, it's okay Navi, don't be upset, because, you know, you did what you could in the final battle, it doesn't matter that you couldn't help us perfectly. And then at the end, where she just randomly goes away for some reason, I don't understand why that is, and I'm supposed to feel emotional, but I don't. Anyway, it's at this point where the timeline splits off, so Link comes back in time to warn Zelda of Ganon's plans, who can then, I'm not sure how he can prove it, but instead of doing this disastrous 3 spiritual stones plot, he's closed the door of time, he's come back to Zelda to report, hey, Ganon's gonna do a thing. And then that splits off into 2 different timelines, and then there's a third one where he, well, 2 timelines, one where he's believed, one where he isn't, and then there's one where he dies and goes to the future. I don't know, it's complicated. But yeah, this has been The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. The original, I have an actual physical disc of it, it's the actual thing for the GameCube. I have been, and will continue to be, tessellating Hexagons, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It's been an absolute pleasure. So, the next episode after this will be the bloopers reel, and then that's it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in whichever video of mine you happen to choose to watch next. Love you!